Hi guys, project for today is to rejuvenate this patio. As you can see, it's not been touched for years. All the pointings come out. You've got weeds growing in it. It's got, a certain amount of lichens and other things growing on the surface. So I'm going to give it a spruce up and repoint the whole thing. So starting off, and I'm try and do this in the quickest way possible. That's kind of the whole idea of this video. The first thing we're going to do is use this black spot destroyer products I got online. This stuff does work really well. What I've done first of all is just give the whole thing a sweep to get all the debris off of it and as much dirt as possible. You can't put this on when it's soaked, so if you jet wash it, you're going to have to leave it for a day or so to dry out, or if it's rained heavily. But it can be put on slightly damp surfaces. So got my sprayer in the background there, just spraying it on, started spraying it on here, leave that for 2 to 4 hours, and then we're going to jet wash it off and give the whole thing a clean up, and then we're going to repoint. So that's the crack. Let's get on with it. Definitely get yourself one of these sprayers. It's a massive time saver. Before I was just using like I'd sort of pour some on, then use a brush to spread it out. This thing's just super easy. So just spray it on like that, and we're going to leave it for 2 to 4 hours. A few little points, guys. This is not even really about health and safety so much, but just having soaking wet feet, having done this a couple of times now, so wellies are a must. It's really, really annoying. Your feet are just definitely going to get soaked. And sunglasses or goggles, because I'm just sick and tired of getting bits of dirt in my eyes. So highly recommend that. And this, I'm going deaf over the years with all these machines I use, so I'd recommend some ear defenders. And what you tend to also find is you'll get the odd 1 or 2 weeds that just are really stubborn, and you kind of need to get them out, because if you don't, let's try and find one. If you don't, it's just going to get in the way of your pointing. So that one came out relatively easy. I've got these grips just in case I can't get in there. And this is just, I couldn't find my weed hook tool. It looks like this, but with a sort of hook shape on top of it. I can't find it. Anything like this will do. Just to dig it out and then grab it with the pliers. Hopefully there's not too many. And one final thing is, so this is, I've mentioned this product before. It's one of those, there's many different brands of resin brushing products. But the problem, as I mentioned before, is it doesn't look like, if it looked like that, it would be fine. It would match this, but it doesn't. It's almost orangey by comparison. So I don't want this to look totally rubbish, and the client doesn't either. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back to good old-fashioned sand and cement. I think this is really designed for laying new paving, and obviously it's going to make the job loads quicker and be much longer lasting. But for this, yeah, back to the old ways. This is funny. I'll turn up for the books. So this row here, I laid a pipe under here for the client, and that was the one row that I pointed probably, what, 7 years ago. So that's the difference between good pointing and bad pointing. And my guess is that this wasn't packed down. Anybody who says, oh, you just brush it in, you just brush it in, they're talking rubbish. I keep hearing that all the time. You just brush it in. Not even with that stuff do you brush in. Not even with that resin product. You brush it in and then you pack it down. If you don't pack it down, it will come out, I reckon, within 6 months. And once you start jet washing it, you're going to lose little bits of it. Whereas that, it'll stay good for 7 years. That's because I did a proper job on it. Damn, I love it when I'm right. I did a second application of the black spot remover and it's made no difference at all. So my gut feeling now is that as long as the surface is relatively clean, obviously ideally you would probably jet wash it, but you know, if it's relatively clean, I think just put the stuff straight on and then jet wash it afterwards, because this is making no difference whatsoever. At all. So either you need a more powerful jet washer or a stronger product. These gaps are quite narrow between the slabs. I do actually have a proper pointing trowel to do this with, but this hose pipe works better in the situation because obviously it's flexible. This is just a little spare piece. I don't really want to cut it, so I'm just using the long length, but obviously you only need a short piece like that. And just trying to smooth out the joints. Give them a bit of a concave finish. Right, it's been decided that we're not going to repoint all of this because the pointing is already good, but just to show you an example of the difference between builder sand and sharp sand. You see all the little stones in there? I prefer that look personally, but this is obviously much smoother, so it depends what you want to go for, but yeah, that's sharp sand versus builder sand mixed with cement at the same ratio. Right, we've got to sweep it clean now, because any of this dried mortar sitting on the top may well stain the slabs, and if it rains, it stains. Quite like that actually. rains, it stains. You heard it here first, folks. So let's just get that off of there. Right. It's a pretty hot day, so I don't want the mortar to dry out too quickly. So I'm just going to give it a very light spray. So the last step is to put this waterproof patio sealer on. The one I've got is the Pro Clean patio seal. Got a 7-litre sprayer. Put that in there and just spray it on, and that's it. Job done. Leave it for probably 24 hours and then you can start using your patio. And I did use this stuff on another patio and it works really well, so yeah.